difference between a newsboy cap and a flat cap. We're going to talk about it. This is really neither. This is more of a Spitfire, but when I do this, now it's a newsboy. Okay? It's also known as a three-way cap because you could go back to the side or to the front, do the newsboy thing. Although the newsboy should be worn a little bit to the side if you ask me. Then again, everybody's a little different, with their stuff. This is, it's more of a Spitfire Baker Boy, they call it too, which is I guess a spin-off of a newsboy cap. But what's the difference? And which one should you get? Well, okay, here's the basic difference. Flat cap is wedge-shaped. It's generally narrow, skinnier on the sides. It doesn't puff out a lot on the sides, where this has a little extra puff that hangs over the side. In my case, not a lot, but it's, like a bulldog's cheeks, it hangs up on the side. It's the same kind of thing. One of these is generally very simple shape. There's less going on here. It's just flat sides, side pieces, back piece, So it's essentially shaped like a wedge. See the wedge shape? Kind of like a triangular shape, right? And if you stuff it and fill it, it's a little bit more rounded here when your head goes in, But this is your standard ivy cap or flat cap. In the hat business, there's two categories generally. We've got ivies, and then we've got newsboys. A lot of times in the hat industry, we don't say newsboy because it takes too long to write it. If you're going to do an inventory on a million different ones, black newsboy leather, brown newsboy leather, black newsboy linen, black newsboy, white newsboy linen, tan newsboy. There's a million different ones. So what we generally write is 8/4, 8/4, like a fraction. 8/4, which really means two hats. So it makes no sense technically. But an 8/4 cap is a newsboy cap. It's also known as an 8-piece cap. You could call it an 8-piece cap, although some newsboys have 6-piece caps. A 6-piece is something like a newsboy, but it generally is a little bit narrower as 6 pieces. Now, on average, flat caps are skinny on the sides, okay? And newsboys are fatter on the sides, okay? Newsboys also have a button on the top. Flat cap, no button, okay? So flat cap is simple, less nostalgic, a little bit more just kind of simple, clean cut. Don't stare at me, it's just kind of like a laid back hat, Newsboys got a little bit more going on there, so it's a little bit more kind of fashionable. There's some bagginess, there's 8 pieces, there's a button, usually it snaps down too, so there's all these things going on, and you get to kind of shape it too. There's a little bit more shaping involved, the way you wear it. It's more sort of jaunty, old worldy kind of, with the suspenders and stuff, old time looking. But they're both pretty much, old time styles, and they're both just as authentic. I'm going to say the ivy cap is generally a skinnier look for a narrower face, slender guy. And the newsboy is usually better for a little bit fatter guy, bigger guy, bulkier guy. Somebody who's got a little wider face, a little bit of pudge that he's trying to kind of play down, or somebody who just likes the nostalgia and the cool look of it. Like Bruce Willis, he looks cool when he wears one from JJ's. He's got like every color in this one called the Orchard Newsboy. He looks good in it. It's a newsboy that's smaller. That's what I'm getting to next. Now, newsboys are generally wider and poofier. Flat caps are generally skinnier, but all flat caps are different. They come in super skinny, which is the big thing now, slim ivies, which are not as long, and they're not as wide on the side as a regular ivy. They're super skinny, almost like a, I don't know, like a duckbill or something, but they're just tiny ivies. We call it a slim. It's just a shrunken down British modern version of an ivy cap that looks like, you know, very clean and small and cool. It generally has a really kind of a good, fashionable, modern look on most people, the skinny thing. And caps, as fashion's going on and evolving, they're getting skinnier and skinnier. It used to be there was only one skinny cap, and most of them were classic width. I'm going to say this is classic width to narrow. It's right in between. It's not a super slim, but it's fairly slim. They're getting much skinnier than this now, and it's just the way it's going. People are complaining about the bagginess on the side of ivies, and they want them to be slimmer. So they're starting to get slimmer, like the Stetson brand is very slim. The Alfonso stuff we order custom, and they walk in with, like, you know, 3-4 dozen different shapes, and then books and books of patterns. So what we get to do is actually we choose a shape we want, and we can make a whole line out of it. So, you know, we'll pick the smallest cap, and then we'll start picking fabrics and stuff and linings and everything. They're done custom generally at JJ's, which is why our stuff is a little bit, if you look at the stuff, it's jazzier. We have like llama hair stuff, and we have matching masks now, you know, like Harris tweeds and all this crazy stuff. Because we order them custom. The companies in Europe allow us to pick shapes and put together, you know, fabrics with them. We could do it patchwork, you know, the patchwork caps, we do that. We could do it summer weight, we could do it winter weight, linen, wool. We do solids, herringbones, tweeds, plaids. We do the vintage cap with the extended peak and, you know, the big wide ivy caps like they were in those old 1800s movies with the old suspenders. We call that a dart cap, which is very hard. That's a hard shape to find. Ivy caps are generally narrow, but they do make wide ones. The wider ones in our catalog are going to be the JJ Ivy, which is a thinner, more kind of an all year round, less expensive one, like $45, made in like New York. Or the Irish stuff, like the Kerry cap from Hannah Hats. It's very traditional. It's a wider ivy, very, very thick, like the thickest Irish sweater you can imagine. It's like that, you know, like that bulky, really. And they take rain like a champ, snow, rain. They last you forever. Hannah hats are really good. We do patchwork solids, herringbones, tweeds, and they're Donegal tweeds, Donegal from Ireland. We do another company called Jonathan Richards. Jonathan Richards is like the Rolls Royce of Irish tweeds. They're pretty much like, you know, if there are 3 or 4 of the hugest, oldest, most famous Irish tweed companies, Hannah Hats is one, Jonathan Richards is another. You'll see them in some of the highest grade, you know, like department stores or like Neiman Marcus catalog, going for tons of money. What's that catalog that Elaine from Seinfeld used to work for, right? Remember that one? The whatever catalog? J. Peterman, like that. And it's known as the cream of the crop brand. They're super thick and bulky, but not all. It depends if we want that fabric. We carry the heavy ones we call the Tully Newsboy. It's a big baggy Newsboy, a little bit baggier than this. It's an Irish cap. It comes in, you know, the tweeds, the herringbones, even like patchworks too. And they're great for rain and snow and all that. And it also comes in an ivy cut, which is kind of a little longer, slimmer. The ivy one is just as heavy. We call that one the snap cap, and it has a snap. I believe those Jonathan Richards and Hannah hats are some of the only caps left on the market that uses plastic for the bill instead of what they call visor board, which is generally cardboard. So if you own caps and you've had them for many years, 5, 10, 20 years, whatever, the first thing to go is generally the board in here. This gets wet and you do this too many times. You make a crack in the cardboard in there and it turns, you know, like a split. So that piece of cardboard in there is actually split. It's like if you take cardboard, wet it, and fold it too many times, you know what happens? It just breaks. It could take you 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. It could take you a couple of seasons. Some of the more active, younger people. It comes from playing with it, especially when it's wet. Okay, so shape it, get it the way you want. You could do it aggressively. Okay, but once you get it right, set it and forget it. Don't keep playing with it over and over. Okay, get it the way you want. Okay, and then when you're ready to fold your cap, here's the way to fold a cap. Okay, take the peak, fold it under. Put it in your pocket when you go out somewhere, a restaurant or something. You're not going to leave it in a taxi. You're not going to leave it in a train. Jump out at your station at 1 a.m., after a few too many beers or something. This way you fold it. It's on your person. You're not going to leave it in a taxi or somebody's car, at a restaurant, whatever. You could tell your girl to put it in her bag, your wife, whatever. You could, slip it in your own coat pocket or your bag. But that's how you fold a cap. Don't fold it this way, okay? That's the first thing to go. Now with the Irish caps, they're the only ones who do the plastic bill instead of a cardboard bill. They don't do it in every cap. I don't think not everyone has it. The Snap Cap has it, and the Tully from Jonathan Richards, and I think the Gatsby and the Kerry from Hannah Hats, I think they have plastic reinforcements on the bottom and the top, both parts, in here and in here, to plastic. And it's kind of like you can wash it too. When the entire thing visor is plastic, you can hand wash these hats without worrying about the visor deteriorating paper in water. So you can't really wash the peak of a flat cap or a Newsboy, but if you buy one of these Irish deals, the Tully, the Gatsby, the Kerry, or the Snap Cap, they're made out of plastic, and you can hand wash them with woolite. I usually take the lining out, kind of like sort of do one of these. This is how you wash it. You get like woolite, the wool cleaner. Get like maybe a quarter cap full or something, and then you fill up the sink, clean the sink, fill it up with nice hot warm water, and then you just take the woolite and you basically brush, down. You gotta rinse it out. Okay, the lining is like 99% of it. Get most of that. Try to avoid the peak of your hat. Then you could wash this. Take this part away from the peak. Okay. Scrub it. Okay. Then you rinse it out. Rinse the soap out, but don't wring it. No wringing. Rinse it out thoroughly, holding the peak. Okay, because you don't want to soak the peak. So everything here but the peak you should wash. Okay, you could try washing the part that makes contact with your head right here. Don't go crazy washing it. Just keep it away from the peak like this. You know what I mean? Take this part, the sweatband, put your finger behind it so you're not washing the peak, you're washing just the sweatband. Rinse that, rinse it. Keep it away from heat to dry. Okay, put it on a drying rack or something, a towel. Put the hat back together like this, okay? Shape it as best as you can to look like a hat. Okay. Put it down on a towel somewhere, no heat. If your room is hot and it's winter time, that's not good either. You have to put it in the bathroom or the kitchen with the door closed and the window cracked open. Cool is good. Hot or warm rooms in the winter are not. You can't dry it like that. It'll shrink a little bit. So, room temperature or a little cool. Air dry it, okay? When it's just about to dry, you could stuff it really, really tight with cellophane or like a whole roll of paper towels or something. Stuff it as tight as you can and it'll dry with less wrinkles. Or if you have steam, just kind of steam it out and just rub away the wrinkles in the steam. That's how you wash a flat cap. Most of these are made out of cardboard, even the best. This is a $100-something Jonathan Richards, but this is the county cap. It's not the model, the Snap Cap with the plastic. This is more traditional. Snap Cap is stronger, thicker, more bulky. So this would be a more traditional all year round cap. Snap cap is slimmer, a little bit longer, and way, way thicker. It also has a snap here, plastic here, plastic there inside to reinforce it. This is a more basic traditional cap here. Just remember, just because your face is a certain way, it doesn't mean you have to buy Ivy or Newsboy. Well, Kevin said flat caps and Ivy caps are better for skinny faces. No, here's the deal. Because you can get very, very wide or very, very skinny in both varieties. You can buy Newsboy caps that are really skinny, that are just tiny Newsboys. You call up JJ and you ask them, what are the skinniest Newsboys you have, tell me, my size is this. Some of the Alfonso ones are skinny. There's certain Stetson models that are really skinny. We have all sorts of things that we've been hoarding for the last 3, 4 years, 5 years. The Orchard is a nice one. Orchard Slim Newsboy. Or you can get them super wide. We have something called the Grant, which is even bigger than the Tully and the Gatsby. We have the JJ Newsboy, which is a thinner, lighter, all year round one for like $45, made in New York. And then we have the really wide ones that are not even in the catalog, called the Big Apple. It's bigger than an Applejack, or Applejack's the same thing as a Newsboy, but it's a Big Apple, so it's like, out to here. It's like the ones that Donny Hathaway used to wear, and the gangsters of the really big, oversized, like Fat Albert era ones. They're awesome. They snap down. They come in herringbones, tweeds, and solid wool. They also come in solid linen, and they're not that expensive. It's not like $55, $65, I think. The most $75, I think. Made in USA, and they're nice wool caps. And probably we're the only ones who sell the Big Apple. Nobody sells that cap. It's very rare, and if anybody sells it, you're gonna have to look for somebody. It's not on our website, so you have to call up and say, Kevin talked about the Big Apple. Now, there's baggy and there's really baggy. A lot of people try this and they say it makes them look like a clown. Other people, they know exactly what they're looking for. They come in and say, yo, you got the Big Apple? I say, yes. What colors you got? Pull them out and they say, let me get 4 of those and 2 of those. You know exactly what it is. And you got to be either a big guy, a fat guy, a tall guy, or somebody who's just not afraid to go a little bit, over the top. Because the Big Apple is the biggest. It's so big that even the crown, like if you open the crown like this and try to make it, it's like, like up here. So you could wear it like as a roster crown too. If you have a lot of hair, like, really long locks that go down to your knees, you could take that and put it inside the Big Apple. It's that big. Trust me. I've seen it done. Not like little locks, like big ones. It comes one size fits all. There's a stretchy elastic band. So it'll fit anything from like, I don't know, maybe a size 7 medium all the way up to like, like double X or bigger, The crown is really huge. So Big Apple, rare hat, not on our website. You got to call, and we'll send you pictures if you don't know. But we do have another hat called the JJ Newsboy, and it's the exact same patterns and cut and everything, but it's just way wider. So if you look at the JJ Newsboy for like 45 or something, it's like another $15 for the Big Apple, which is off the menu. And just picture it like 50% bigger or something, Okay, so that's our biggest Newsboy. Our biggest Ivy is also really wide. It looks like one of those, almost like a Newsboy like this, without a button. It's those things you see in those old, like back in the, I don't know, Civil War days or something, when people all wore those suspenders and caps and, played the blues or whatever. It's old-timey. It's called the dart cap, D-A-R-T, the dart cap, because it has these little pleats, these darts. It's kind of like what all the vintage guys wear. There's a guy, Benji, who's amazing. There's Adam, and they're like really into the vintage dressing. They like the dart cap. So if you're one of those guys, you dress with actual vintage stuff, two-tone shoes, or, vintage hats and, clothing and stuff. It's It's wild. It's really nice. Called the dark cap. That's about our widest. The narrowest is going to be a slim, you know, like any of the slims, the JJ Slim. Some of the new stuff looks really nice too. And we're also going to have a video about the new hat, 100% Beaver Alberta from Canada, from McGill. We've got a pure beaver hat with a 2 3/4 inch brim. It's kind of like an Ontario, same shape, but it's in 100% beaver, and it comes in this like a mahogany color too. It's kind of like a rust or something, like a cinnamon rust, burnt rust color. Real nice, really nice. Comes in regular colors too, like gray and black. Pure beaver, $400, and McGill is nice. A lot of bang for the buck. I have not seen this felt, so I can't really comment too much on it, but I know McGill, and I've dealt with many of their models for a long time, and they're fantastic felt. Really good stuff. Always thick, always behaves, does what you want it to do, and I'm very excited to see that hat actually. So I don't know what else I could bring. You know, I told you how to wash your caps and stuff. Most of these caps will take rain and snow and stuff. Just got to keep it away from heat, and that's it. Keep it in a cool place to dry. And remember, that's how you fold it, right? Fold it like this. Doesn't matter what kind of cap you got. And then this is the Spitfire. Spitfire is a 3-way cap, so it's a newsboy with no snap. You know the people that like to open their snap and wear their hats like this, except there's a annoying snap here and here all the time? Well, they make a version without the snap there and here. The idea is you could just roll it forward like a regular newsboy, and it's the same hat, you know, just no snap in there, but it stays down all the same. Or you could go to the side, blouse it to the side, or you could blouse it to the back. So back, side, front. It's a 3-way cap, otherwise known as a Baker Boy, otherwise known as a Spitfire. Spitfire is what I was always raised to know what they, to call them. There's a famous hat by Kangol they used to make years ago. The Spitfire, it's like this. Doesn't have the sections. It came in wool, it came in terry cloth, it came in like a polyester for summer, and it came in a furry angora, like a fur gora. It was a very cool hat, this Spitfire. A lot of Jamaicans used to wear it and stuff, and it was just a cool cap, you know, back in the days. Late 70s, early 80s. Bye.